Hey.
Hey, there we are. Yay.
Hey.
Welcome into the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast. Today is Tuesday. I knew you were going to do that. October 15th. We are halfway through October already. That's just crazy pants to me. Just a couple of minutes after 11 a.m. Eastern, after 8 Pacific. Thank you so much for chilling with us. I'm Ron. If you're watching our video component, then on my left, your right, is John Yaglensky.
Hi.
He's our producer and partner. You know what? I don't even know. It's just it's
Greetings.
John.
I'm just John.
It's John, everybody.
I'm just John.
I love that.
Just John.
Oh man! And thank
you
you so much for chilling with us. We've got the video component you can watch live if you'd like on YouTube and also on Facebook. And if you're doing that, then you already know that. But you can also go back and watch old episodes if you like on Facebook.
True.
On my Facebook page and also on our YouTube page. All of the old ones are there too, and then listen to them in your car or wherever, whenever you like.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yes.
Now, John is going to be gone the next couple of weeks, so I don't think we're going to have a Halloween show.
Oh, no. Spooky.
Oh, no.
All right. Monster.
It's Halloween, Ron.
All right, hang on. Let me look at my calendar.
Okay.
I can't pull my calendar up. What's going on here?
Are we not going to be able to do a Halloween?
I don't think we are.
No,
I mean,
you're right.
Gone for 10 days.
I'm gone through my birthday, November 4th.
So. Wowzers. Yeah, so no Halloween show this year for us. So I might hop on in costume.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
I'll do a Facebook Live silly thing, but yeah.
The peeps will appreciate that. But the next day I will be back with jet lag, no doubt. Will be November 5th.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. All right. You're going to be gone for your birthday?
No, I'm coming.
I'm actually your birthday?
No, dude. I am let me look at the actual flight. I get back in, let's see, I'm flying back overnight and get back in 4:19 p.m. on my birthday.
Where are you going to be, by the way?
UK, the United Kingdom.
Oh, well, then you can do a podcast there. You're only 6 hours ahead.
Right. 5. First going to Northern Ireland.
Right.
Then Scotland.
Yeah.
And then to
can't say Scotland without trying to approximate a Scottish accent.
Scotland.
I don't know what it is. It's required.
Yeah, sorry.
Scotland.
Head, paper, nail.
Dude in front. Probably playing on a huge pillow of his.
Gigantic cranium.
It's got its own weather system. I dare you. I triple dog dare you to name that movie. Nobody knows it. But that was also the very beginning of a very famous character.
Yes.
That was voiced by a very famous actor who was doing a Scottish accent in this film. I think it was first film. Wasn't it?
Was it?
I think it was his first. Man, that would be a great question of the day.
That would be. But
down in front.
Oh,
huge cranium of his.
So flying from Hilton Head to Charlotte to London to Northern Ireland.
Okay.
Belfast. And then from there, puddle jumping, cheap flight from Northern Ireland to Glasgow, Scotland.
Let's go.
Glasgow.
It's a Z almost. Glasgow.
Thank you. All right. Good to know prior to going there and offending
also
people.
Edinburgh, even though it doesn't spell that.
Edinburgh.
It looks like Edinburgh. It's not. It's
Edinburgh. Right. Okay. So, and then from there, taking an overnight sleeper train from Glasgow to London. and then I will be in London shooting. And then one of the days I've tacked on a few extra tourist days at the end.
Okay.
And I scheduled a train from London to Paris to go to Disneyland Paris, have a single overnight stay in one of their hotels. I'm going to be like commando. I'm going to be gathering content like crazy over there. And then coming back the next day to make it in time for the London premiere of Getting Lost, the documentary by Taylor Morden, who's my videographer on this.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, this sounds like a fantastic trip. Trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, and by the way, we're just so everybody knows, and they're like, "Oh, John just goes, everywhere." I'm shooting four separate commercials while I'm there over the course of 10 days as well.
So
it's kind of what I do.
So I'm sitting at dinner with my best friend George last week.
Yes,
and his son.
Oh yeah, hello George.
And we're chatting, and so he's like, "What does John do?" Because I said,
"No one knows."
And I'm like, "Well, I mean, he was a radio guy, and he wisely got out. And I know he was in computers for a while. He worked for Arrows. Remember Arrows? He's like, yeah, like he was at Arrows
at the dawn of the internet
for a while,
era.
And then he was at a realty company. And then I'm like, I don't know. He worked.
It was the other way around. Real estate, then Arrows as GM of web development.
Okay.
As an operations manager at the real estate office. Go ahead.
So then I got to I'm like, I don't know. He works in DC. He's at an industry like union, but a group thing. And I said, I think, hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
And I said, I think it's IEEE. He goes, IEEE.
Right.
He goes, oh my God. The electrical engineers is like, oh my God, it's like the biggest organization. I said, oh, so you know this because George is a structural engineer. So of course he is very well aware of all of those things. So yeah. He literally sat back here and IEEE.
Wow. No, it's the funny
I don't know. He's like a VP or something. I don't know what he does there. Communications.
All right. So just so we're clear,
yes,
I am director of communications and information technology.
I got communications right.
IEEE
I got
USA.
That right. Okay, very good.
In Washington, D.C., and IEEE is the world's largest technical professional society.
There it is.
With 450,000 members worldwide. So that's what I do.
And that's why you're globetrotting over to Ireland, because it's worldwide.
Yeah, we're worldwide. Yeah. We did a set of commercials in the United States that went over really well. And at the time, our president of IEEE USA helped me out with that, get them funded, helped me sell them to the bigwigs and such. Yeah. And what is it? About 4 years later, he's now the president of IEEE Global, the mothership, as we call her. And he said, can you do this again on a global scale? And I was like, darn tootin'. Let's go. So we did filming in Japan. That was
that was the last trip.
Now we're connecting all the dots here.
Yeah, all right. I just want you to know that I remember the name of your organization.
That was good.
Barely.
George's reaction, by the way, was the exact reaction a buddy of mine at Errol's had when I said, I have an interview with this company. They're like,
lots of
He goes, the IEEE. I was like, okay. Yes, them.
All right, very good.
Yeah. Now you know.
Now we know. I just wanted you to know that it was highly recognized within the industry, as you already know, because you're in the industry. But a friend of mine,
it's still good to hear, though.
They're like, what does John do? I'm like,
well,
IEEE.
People struggle with that because I've done a lot of different stuff, and they know me from the podcast, not only this podcast, but the intercot podcast. But they also assume that I do the Disney
stuff. You work for
Disney,
right? Exactly.
For my full-time job, and really, that's just been a part-time kind of fun thing to do for the last 27 years.
Sure.
By the way, we celebrated our 27th birthday this past week.
go watch him on his
Yep.
podcasts and consume the content. And by the way, that's a great resource if you're planning a trip. And I sent 2 of my friends over there to Intercot. Great resource. They do all kinds of reviews on all
Right.
kinds of things, and it's only Disney parks.
Disney
Not
parks.
about Disney animation or
not really.
anything else. None of the, but just the parks. Okay, and some resorts are included in there as well.
Parks and resorts. Yep.
Parks and resorts. So
Yes.
that's it. But that's a great resource. Intercot.
Thank you.
1 T or 2 T's? 1 T.
1 T, like the Internet Community of Tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, John.
That's the acronym.
Because it's Epcot.
Because Epcot was
Right.
the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, and we are the Internet Community of tomorrow.
I got it. All right. Very nice.
All right. Good.
Nice. All right.
All right. Enough
So
about me.
I saw Santa run a grocery cart into a car.
Wait, what?
I just wanted to give you the headline.
What? Santa
ran a grocery cart into a parked car. Watched it happen.
First of all, shouldn't he be running a deer or a sled into a parked car instead of a grocery cart? But
allow me to elaborate.
Okay, I'm going to let you.
All right, greatest wife ever and I.
Hold on, let me do this.
Thank you very much. Right. The greatest wife ever and I. We're out grocery shopping, and we're at our local Safeway in beautiful and historic downtown Middletown, Maryland. Right.
Nice.
And we're in our car. We're sitting in our car, and we're looking across the parking lot. And I've brought this up before, and I contend that this is probably part of the issue, is that they put the grocery cart return, and it's only like 4 parking slots down from the actual curb. It should be like halfway or 3/4 of the way for people who don't want to walk all the way up to put their cart back, right? So inconveniently,
right.
But also the parking lot is on a hill. It's a hill, and it's rapidly declines from the grocery store out to the bottom of the parking lot. And the cart return was in front of us. We parked in front of the cart return.
Okay.
On the other side, obviously, and it's full. Okay, it's completely full.
Wow.
So this man with a big white beard, okay, and he looked full on like Santa. Returns his cart, but instead of like shoving it into and making it fit, he just put it there and just kind of let it go. As we watched it start rolling down the hill of the parking lot, gathering speed, and we're just sitting there. And Grace wife ever like, it's going to hit that car.
Oh no!
And it's rolling pretty good clip now. And there's a car that's parked, and there was a man inside the parked car, and it went bam, right into the back corner panel, the passenger side of the car.
Slam.
And we're just sitting there going, wait,
did that just happen?
What did we just see?
Right.
What did we just see? Because John, you and your greatest wife ever and I were talking when I was visiting. We're like, have you ever witnessed an accident?
Oh yeah.
And we're sitting there, and we literally just went, what did we just see? And so Santa turns on his heel and just walks away.
Oh no!
Walks away. He watches it as it starts going down a hill, and he does one of these. He raises his hand. In case you're listening, I'll describe it. He raises his right hand, and he just goes, ah, and he like he's away, like whatever. And he turns around and walks away. Now, we can't see Santa now because there's a giant truck that is parked to our right. Okay, so he's behind that truck. He's walked behind the truck, and I guess he's going to another vehicle. The dude gets out of his car.
Yeah, here it comes.
And he's a big guy. He's got to be 6'2", 6'3". I mean, he's big. He's a big dude, right? Older gentleman, probably about my age. Whatever. He's got some gray hair, a little snow on the roof. And then he looks at his. He's looking incredulously at his car, like he can't believe what just happened, because I don't think he saw it. I think he just heard bam, and then had to turn around, like, what was that? Because he was in the driver's side. He gets out. And the cart is just resting right there because it went bam and just stayed there. So he grabs the cart and he's looking. And of course, we're about 25, 35 yards away. And you can see the dent in the back corner. You can see the dent in the back corner panel at the top of the wheel well, right? At the top. You could see it would. So he grabs the cart and he starts walking back up, and we're like, oh, did Santa flee? Did he flee the scene? Oh no, he was still there because he got on the other side of the truck, and this gentleman walks that grocery cart all the way back up, and you just see Santa walking back down as we were like, okay, they got him. Okay. So, and insurance will pay for it or whatever. They'll just take lots of pictures. So we back up, and as I'm coming around, Santa's car was in fleeing the scene. And he just parked it right out and just pulling out of the handicap spot. There's Mrs. Santa in the passengers, and there's a woman dressed
Does she look like Mrs. Claus?
No, but she looks. There's a woman in full nurse gear. All right, she's wearing nurse scrubs or doctor scrubs. She could be a doctor. I don't know why.
Okay.
Probably just because she's a woman, and I apologize for that. That was very sexist. She could be a doctor, could be a surgeon. I have no idea. A dentist or whatever. But it's surgical scrubs.
Right, in scrubs.
Recognize the
scrubs. We don't want no scrubs.
And she walks down.
Sorry.
My best friend's ride. Passenger side. So she she pulls out her phone and she's taking pictures. I don't know if she's related, if she works for them. I don't know any of those.
Okay.
But the car, he just didn't pull it back into the spot, backed it out, and it stopped, full on stop, blocking any parking coming up into the aisle.
Okay.
Like, dude, you could have just reparked the car. I didn't think the guy just dragged Santa out of the vehicle.
Like he just realized he got nabbed at that point, and then just completely stopped the car and like, well, maybe I ought to stop.
And he just starts walking down. Now, Santa was old enough that he wasn't going to chase the cart. I probably would have chased the cart, but it was starting to gather quite a lot of speed. So after about 15 feet, there was no catching the cart.
No, I get it.
Unless it was a full-on sprint, and Santa wasn't sprinting.
Clearly was not going to sprint.
Yeah,
but the fact that he headed away was cool.
Oh, totally. He was just going to leave. Just leave, and I don't think he realized that there was a guy in the car.
This is why we can't have nice things.
But again, and I'm going to blame. Now, Granny's wife ever blames the staff at the grocery store for not emptying the grocery cart, so you could clearly just put it in, all right? Because it was full.
Well,
and
but what's
I blame the grocery store because they're not supposed to be placed that far up. They're supposed to be at least halfway down. Right? Which means Santa would have had to walk it back up into the grocery store, and there would have been no mishap.
Right.
There would have been no mishap whatsoever.
Come on, though.
But
I mean, what's the proper thing to do? Really? I mean, if cart bin is full,
then you walk it up into it. Right.
You walk it up.
Yeah, you don't just put it at the edge up and then
have you ever
let it go and see what happens? All right, Newton.
Have you ever seen
whatever you proved is correct?
Have you ever seen the Facebook or YouTube channel for cart narcs?
No.
There's a guy
what is that?
Who basically he's cart narc, and he goes around and he alerts people that they are committing crimes against humanity, essentially, by not putting their cart back, and points out where the cart rack is and says, hey, you going to put that back? And he's like, whip, 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 whip. you gotta see it. Some of the responses are funny. Some go from, okay, you got me, to who are you to tell me what to do? That kind of stuff. So anyway, check it out.
I have to admit
funny
that I did Karen out a little bit as I was. I don't know. What is it when a guy does it? Is it see, there you go. Out. Greatest wife ever. She blames Santa, right, for not putting the cart back in.
I blame Santa too.
Yes.
And then for fleeing the scene.
And he did just let it go and just went,
I mean, what if some kids were watching?
I know.
Seriously.
I
What kind
know.
of example are you setting, Santa?
Now, I do have to confess because I did Karen out a little bit on the way into the grocery
You
store.
cenned out.
Is that what it is? Is
Yeah,
it Ken?
pretty
Kevin?
much.
I don't know. Whatever.
Ken, Kevin,
There are two
something.
entrances into the grocery store. There's the
Apologies to them.
big double doors, the
Mhm.
automatic double doors.
Yeah.
And then over on the right-hand side,
Yeah.
there are two automatic doors, but it's not the big slidey doors. It's, one opens in, one opens out, right?
Right.
And it's got the ramp in case you're walking a grocery cart out to ram into other cars. And so along there is a curb with a clearly marked yellow painted curb and a big sign that says no
Right.
parking. What happens? Oh, I'm just getting a couple items, and people park there and they run in and get their stuff.
Mm.
Well, and
Yeah.
I hate it. I can't stand it. It's like, look, I park my car or you ride around. If I'm just running in, which is what I did, I ran in to get a couple of things. Greatest I've ever drove around the parking lot until I showed up outside the door, and then she came and picked me up instead of just parking on the curb that is clearly painted yellow. Pardon me. Clearly with a sign that says no parking. The dude was parked in front of the no parking sign, but he was also blocking my entrance to get into the grocery store because the door is directly in front of me and he's parked in front of it.
Yeah.
So as I'm walking up, I was very passive aggressive, but very Karen. Very Karen.
Mhm.
As I'm walking up like I'm going to walk into his car because that's the path.
Right.
And then I just look at him and I stared at him as I made a big deal about going around his car as I'm pointing at the no parking sign. And then his wife comes up and she's got a few items and she's getting in the car and I'm staring at her and I'm boring holes. I don't say a word, nothing, just stare at her, stare at the guy parking as I'm going around and just with a disgusted look on my face and just park your car. Park your car.
Could
the
you
rules
just do
apply
that?
to everybody, not you because you're going in to get a couple of items. This isn't a convenience store. If you oh, that's right. And Grace Waver said our grandson saw Santa. That's right.
See, that's what I mean.
Totally forgot about that. Our grandson was in the car. GS1 was with us.
No.
That's right, because he wanted ice cream. I forgot about that.
No.
That's why we're there. Yes. So
That's just sad.
So a child did witness Santa being very bad. And I had to say, that's not the real Santa. The real Santa would not do anything like that.
No, it's just
he's not the real Santa.
He's a poser.
Just a guy who looks like Santa. You're right. Greatest wife ever. I totally messed up the story and missed the punchline. You're right. She's exactly right. So speaking of
not good. Not good, Santa.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things that you witness that's not, it's not a huge crime. There was also
right.
Daughter the Elder and I witnessed a car backing into another car in the parking lot of the Motor Vehicle Administration.
Oh, that's classic.
I was walking
way to go there.
Renew my license. Daughter the Elder and I are walking up. I forget how old she was. We just saw a car just back out and gank right into we both looked at each other like, really? In the NBA parking lot?
Didn't have long or to go to get to the state trooper.
No, not at all. They were right
just
there.
Walk right inside the building.
Right there.
Right.
And then another time, and this happens to be with the Daughter of the Elder for some reason, but we were outside. Remember Heckinger's? Heckinger's was it was like a Home Depot.
Before Home Depot.
I think was it a Maryland thing? Was it an East?
I think it was regional.
It's a regional. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a home improvement store, blah, blah, blah. Lumber yard and
Yeah, I used to love Heckinger's.
And stuff like that. I love Heckinger's.
Yeah.
Harry homeowner, Harry Heckinger.
Right, Harry Heckinger.
So so we're witnessing Daughter of the Elder and I, and again, I forget how old she is, 8, 9, whatever, something like that. And we had gone into Heckinger's and got whatever. and we're out in the parking lot, and this
Mhm.
dude has pulled his pickup truck up to load up, and he's got wood paneling. Okay, so he's got
Mhm.
big sheets of wood paneling,
Right.
and he's got like 3 or 4 of them, and he pulls them off of his cart, and he loads them into the back, and the gate is up on his truck,
Okay.
and he loads it in. So there's going to be some overhang because the
Yeah, a little bit.
sheet
Right.
of
Mhm.
is a good 3 or 4 feet beyond
Ooh.
the gate of the truck.
Okay.
So
Short
he
bed truck.
puts it
Got it.
in,
Yeah.
and then he lets it drop, and it hits the gate and snaps in half.
Nice.
And it doesn't come completely off. It just snaps and droops as the guy just standing there looking at it. And Jordan and I are just going,
Oh God.
don't laugh at the guy. Don't laugh at the guy.
Oh
You
no.
know, he was looking around like,
Poor
well,
dude.
can I get some fresh sheets? I know it's mine. Can I just return it? Oh,
Oh, so painful.
I know it was painful to watch. And I
Yeah.
felt really bad
But
laughing at
we've all been there. We've
the
all done stuff
misfortune.
like that. I hate to say it, but we really have.
We have.
I mean,
Yeah, I did. Okay, I got to bring this up because I don't think I've seen Greatest Wife Ever or Daughter of the Younger laugh as hard as they did. But I'm putting in the XM radio into our van, into our car.
right.
And it was I took it from my car to put it in the van because we were going to be traveling, I don't know, camping or something, right?
Okay.
So the whole car is packed. I'm sorry. Whole car is packed.
Okay.
And now, if you don't know this about XM radios, they were a little unit about, I don't know, 6 inches by 3 inches. It was a little unit. And then you hooked up an antenna to it. So
Yeah, the ones that weren't built in. Yeah.
right. It wasn't
Exactly.
built into your car.
Mhm.
This was, what is it called? Aftermarket.
Yeah.
And
Aftermarket.
right.
Yep.
And so you had a magnetic antenna that went on the top of your
Mhm.
car or on the roof or on your hood or whatever.
Sure.
And you ran this wire and they gave you all kinds of wire. You ran it up under the dash and down through the floorboard. And then, so I was just going to temporarily running it up and I was going to Starsky and Hutch that thing on the top,
Yeah.
sort of like the Starsky and Hutch
Right.
light.
That's a obscure reference, but go
It
ahead.
was, but you got it.
I did.
That's all I care about. So, so I'm just going to start getting Hutchin on the side. And as I'm pulling the wire, I did not have enough slack.
Oh no.
So as I popped it up and I shut the door, bam, it snapped the wire.
Oh no.
And the
just
I
took
can listen,
it right off.
It snapped the wire. The little magnet is here. It was a good piece. The magnet antenna was probably about 1 inch by 2 inches. There's the Starsky and Hutch card. Thank you very much. And there's the light on top, which is what I was talking about.
Right.
And so it was about 1 inch by 2 inch. A little dome thing with a wire, a tiny little spindly wire that came
right.
out.
The baby
Connected
wire
to your radio,
Yeah.
right? And and so that was firmly magnetized and adhered and attached to the roof of the car, but I had not
Solid.
pulled enough slack. So
Okay.
when I closed the door, clearly it had snapped. It
Wow.
just snapped the wire. So I'm laughing now,
Okay.
but
Probably not laughing then.
I was so hot. I was so angry. And those two could not stop. They were crying, laughing. I've never seen them laugh that hard. Laughed so hard because and what made it even funnier is how I was just fuming, so mad. And and I knew, all right, what are you going to do? Are you just going to be a jerk and continue to be mad? Or are you going to? So I did start to laugh because they were laughing,
Right.
but I was still not anywhere near think it was funny at all because I was livid. And it was almost time to throw a fit. And a full-on adult in my 50s throw a stinking fit because you stomp the ground, curse, with the pump my fists up and down and just, in place. I was full on ready to throw a complete tantrum.
Have you ever done something like that and then something happens right after it too? Like that. It's one of those, oh, come on moments. Like, oh, come on. Like, are you kidding me? Like my thumb. So,
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Which is looking much better now. But a couple days after you left, my wife asked me to come down and fix the printer.
Uh-huh.
And I put the printer thing up.
Oh, no.
And all of a sudden, kunk, slam, hits. I have like on the same thumb. And I'm like, come on, man. Are you for real? I'm doing like one of those, like it just, come on. You just can't, it's not fair. Sometimes life is not fair. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Well, luckily for me, I had another antenna.
Much better,
and then I was really sarcastic.
Oh, you had another one?
I had another one. So I was really sarcastic with the amount of wire.
Oh,
okay. All right. It's not happening again.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Very
that
funny.
Was, good
not
times.
funny, not funny.
But. All right. So coming up on Halloween, which we will not have a show for, unfortunately.
But Ron will broadcast that day.
Yes, I will. I'll
celebrate with you.
Greatest wife ever and I. Usually she puts a lot of thought and a lot of creativity into Halloween costumes.
Right.
I mean, one year she was a peacock with a tail that actually raised and spread. She had the peacock.
Crazy.
She figured out how she was going to do it. And she had these wires and she pulled on her shoulders. They came up. She made epaulets on her shoulder. And so she would to keep the rings there. And then she'd pull the rings and the clear wire you couldn't see.
Next level.
She made this fan. She did not appreciate the fact that I kept bringing up the fact that she should be a peahen because they don't have the bright colors. They have the tawny like dirt colors because they sit in the nest on the ground to guard the eggs.
Okay.
Here we go. She didn't like that. She didn't.
Peahen.
But she won. She won the costume contest. I won a costume contest of a costume she made for me, which was Cavity Sam. You know who Cavity Sam is? He's the operation guy.
Oh, yeah. I remember operation. That. Yes.
So it literally had a life-size suit on with, I had the red nose. You could actually play the game because I had writer's cramp and I had the Charlie horse and the rubber band and all of the things. It was great. She crafted all of those out of styrofoam and I won that year. And
what did you win? Where did you win it?
Okay. You want to know what I won?
Yeah.
We won now we had to get ourselves to there, but we won a trip, something in New York City from 106.9 The Eagle radio station, but I wasn't working there at the time. I was working at Sirius XM. Yeah, won it from a radio station. And then I don't know, we claimed our prize. I don't know. We never won. We had a year to take advantage of it. We never did. But that was at a local little watering hole around here.
Okay.
But we took it very, very
seriously.
Out
on the town on Halloween, or
what's that?
You go out on the town for Halloween? Or?
We do. We do. Ever since and it was a.
Well, who does the house then?
Well, we're not home on Halloween. So, I mean, usually I take that back. Usually party night, very rarely Halloween party night lands on Halloween. It's usually the Saturday before.
I got it. Okay.
Right. And then, so we're home on Halloween, except unless it's party night and whatever. Then we're not. And it's the weird thing about our neighborhood too, when it comes to trick or treating, is that they've aged out. When we moved in, we had, we had a little, 6-month-old, and then we had a 9-year-old. Right. So we trick or treated for many, many years. And a lot of people would come to our neighborhood. We're in a cul-de-sac, we're in a circle, and we're all townhomes.
Right.
So you had high density trick or treating.
That's the
very little walking, because walked out of our house down our sidewalk, go up the sidewalk, and go right up our neighbor's and Tyler's sidewalk. And then there he was,
There you
just
go.
handing out candy.
We
They wouldn't
love
walk
it.
on the yard,
Yeah.
which was nice. They would always walk down. The kids would walk down. And we made a big fat hairy deal out of it. Some years we had, my dad dressed as Freddy Krueger one time and hid in
Wow.
the bushes. And we scared the living out of some of the kids in the area. I would be in the master bedroom. It's a townhouse. So the master bedroom window, one of the windows is directly over the front door. So I was up there one year just dropping giant pipe cleaner spiders on kids as
Oh, jeez. Nice.
One of the best ones was we had that little bump out in our kitchen, which is it's a bay window on on all the other houses. Ours is like a little 1.5 2 feet bump out. So it's now an eating kitchen, but there's a window right next to the front door. And so that would be my brother-in-law sat there with the big paper towel tube and from wrapping paper, and he would slowly ease it out as the kids are standing there going treat, treat, treat. And just as it's like right next to their head, right next to him, he just go, woo!
Oh no, that's not right.
We had children running in place. It was very scary. But one year we put a scarecrow out in our front yard. Right, scarecrow sitting in the front yard underneath a tree. We had a tree,
right, and it was a real scarecrow at first.
It was a real scarecrow, except on Halloween night. Because then it was me.
Right,
but we let it out there, sat it out there for like 2 weeks, so people would get used to it.
Right,
and then that
smart,
right? Then it was me.
Good call.
And so and you didn't have to do much. You did not have to do much. You just had to just move your head slightly. Kids are looking at
like,
kids catch it out of the corner of their eye.
Is that wind?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I had parents shining flashlights right up into my face. So like, is there a guy in there? I'm like, no. So that was a lot of fun. So we took Halloween very seriously, and the girls won. Greatest Wife Ever, of course, designed all these costumes, and the girls won costumes contests all the time. Carmen Miranda one time with all the fruit on her head. Chicky, chicky, boom, chicky, boom. That was great. And then, let's see, the daughter, the younger, was she wanted to be I want to be a ballerina. That's dead. We're like, okay.
What?
So, black tutu and dark circles, and it was very creepy.
I want to be a ballerina. That's dead.
That's dead.
All right.
No, but she paused and then add that.
Right.
I want to be a ballerina.
For effect.
That's
good.
Dead.
Good. That's funny.
So this year, actually one of our best costumes, I think, because we have friends, Bob and Sandra, who do amazing costumes every year, and then they're always pairs. Like one year he was Kurt Cobain and she was Courtney Love, and one year she was Freddie Mercury and he was Brian May of Queen. I mean, it's just these duos. Oh, wow. They're amazing. One time she was I can't remember what it was last year, but she does an amazing job. So one year we're Greatest Wife Ever and I were getting ready to dip out to go, and we couldn't think of a costume, and I was like, I got it. I got this. We're going to be Ross and Rachel from Friends, but it's a specific episode where he had drawn a cat whiskers and a nose on her when she was drunk and passed out, and they were stuck in a Vegas room, and the only way they would go out is if she could draw on his face, and they got really hammered. So his face said Ross, and then he had, I don't know, did he have cat whiskers? I forget what he had. Oh, no, I'm sorry. She didn't have cat whiskers. She had a mustache and a goatee. Rachel did, that he had drawn on her. And then they drew Ross on his forehead and cat whiskers. So we did that. And nobody got it because my name is Ron Ross. So they're like, Ross, why would you write your name on your forehead?
I don't get it.
Had one waitress or bartender at the bar that we went to. As soon as we walked in, she went, Friends. I get it. And we're like, great, thank you.
Finally, one person.
Right. But it was great because you could just wear regular clothes and you just had that on your face. Which I thought was a great. By the way, feel free to use that. It's a great costume because you don't have to do much. Just draw on your face.
Of course, the
But
show's only been off the air for how long? But I guess it's in reruns. So.
I've been Beetlejuice. She's been Tinkerbell, and I've been Captain Hook. That's when I had I had my own long rock and roll hair. So I was Captain Hook.
I remember that.
That was awesome. That was a great costume.
Yanni live at the Acropolis.
Okay. One night only.
One night only. Yanni live at the Acropolis.
Witness the spectacle.
The spectacle.
I can't even name a single Yanni song.
Oh, I can't either. I have no idea.
You could play 45 Yanni songs and I wouldn't recognize
none. Zero. Wouldn't know it's Yanni.
New age composer, right? And he did
yeah. Him and John Tesh and Yanni.
I like John Tesh's stuff.
I don't know. I actually have no idea what Yanni played.
I think he plays the keyboard. Isn't he a keyboard? Or are you looking at John's looking it up right now?
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm consulting.
Then he's going to pop up a video.
Consulting the book.
Because I did. At one time, I had the big old mustache and I had longer hair.
All right.
Which I had actually at your wedding. We just celebrated, or they just celebrated their 33rd wedding anniversary.
Like things just ringing off the hook here again.
Are you
remind me to hold on. I'm looking at Yanni. Yeah, Yanni's calling.
Somebody asked me the other day, what is your podcast about? And I'm like,
I don't know. I got no idea. Hold on, here we go.
All right.
There
he is.
Back in the day, you bared a resemblance.
I did. Yes, I had the hair and I had the mustache.
To Mr. Yanni. Yeah. Oh, he looks different now. He looks not that far off from you. Still, which is amazing.
He needs to put some glasses on.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, he could pull you off.
Easily.
I know. He's a keyboardist, pianist, and music.
You see him on the keyboard. There he is. There we go. Okay. Now we've settled that.
Now we know who Yanni
would have been the question of the day. So
Ron looked like Yanni.
So this year, I don't have a costume picked. Greatest wife ever. We were literally sitting at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
I mean, we're usually 2 weeks into it, gathering and shopping and getting things and I'm not. I mean, I have a Batman, pajamas I can wear, which have a hood and all that stuff. So
no, please.
And it's got a little cape on it and everything. It's cute.
Yeah.
I did do that one year where the Greatest Wife Ever approximated my Batman costume. Excuse me. But the Batman costume that I had when I was a kid, remember the little, the costumes you would get in the little box that had the cellophane in front.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So it didn't have a hood.
No.
It didn't have a full-on cowl with a mask. It had a black mask. And then you put the hood on top with these spindly little,
all right,
little Batman ears. I'll post that costume because there is a kid. There's a picture of a kid in 60s Batman costume, Halloween costume. And it says, always be yourself. Unless you can be Batman, then be Batman. I'm like, that's
a good point.
Words to live by.
Jim has an idea for a costume.
Oh,
Hans and Franz.
Franz.
That's an obscure one too, Jim.
That's not obscure. I got it. Did you get it?
I did, but
all right. It's not that.
We'll go like
yes, girly man.
Girly.
They were supposed to make a movie out of that. Arnold Schwarzenegger was on board and everything.
Really?
Yeah, then I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
It just didn't happen. Okay. So I don't have any. Do you guys do anything for Halloween? We love to go out for Halloween. We use parties and we like to.
So honestly, in Urbana, we used to do the house up pretty good. And one year, I think we dressed up as Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, which was cool.
That's right. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, we did that. And but we moved here, and the neighborhood we were in didn't have as many kids. We still made it really spooky, and we had one of the oldest live oak trees in all of Hilton Head on our property in the front yard. So we made it spooky. I had our little boat outside with a skeleton sitting in it, like driving the boat, and had strobe lights. I mean, I genuinely tried to make it spooky. The problem was we'd only get like 10 or 12 kids.
Sidebar.
Yeah.
You're getting John's Philadelphia accent coming through. Spooky.
Did I? Spooky.
Spooky.
What did I say? Spooky.
Spooky.
Okay.
Spooky on the Schuylkill Expressway, dear hon.
Schuylkill. Gonna have
Anyway,
a cheesesteak.
So
Yeah,
well,
no. And by the way, when we moved here, just to finish the thought,
yes, please.
nobody, literally no one. We don't get any kids at all where we are. None. Zip, zilch. We don't even decorate for Halloween anymore.
Oh,
We just don't, because nobody comes here.
that hurts. That one hurt.
I know.
We have seen a huge decline. And so it was the heyday with when our daughters were kids. And we would take the dog out, Count Crapula, because we put a little Dracula. She had a little Dracula cape on, and then she would just poop all over the neighborhood. It was awesome. But now it's not nearly as many because they've aged out. Look, we're empty nesters, and our grandson goes around. He goes to a different neighborhood, or gets on a fire truck. I don't know. He's been here, I think, trick-or-treating when he was little. But we don't get people used to drive their kids, over to our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And drop them off because they could get the high density trick-or-treating done.
I mean, makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense. So you probably went through like mega amounts of candy at that point.
We did. I had I had years and years and years at Sirius XM. I had a phone call that I had recorded. And it followed me from one studio to the next because thankfully they brought the same piece of equipment that had the recorded phone call on it. And I played it every stinking year. And it was this great woman. She had the best comeback. Because I was talking, I'm trying to be Danny DJ and talk about what's, something of interest. And so I had this woman on the phone and I said, hey, so, greatest life ever, we buy all this candy, but we put our favorites on the bottom. So they would be the last thing to hand out. So if there's anything left over, it's our favorites. I said, great. Where do you put your favorites? She goes, I put my favorites in my stomach.
Well, I mean,
she's not wrong.
No, she's not wrong, because usually you would buy your favorites to give out so that if you did have leftover.
I hope she knows that she was for years, she was a Halloween tradition on the Pulse Morning Show and then later the Ron Ross Morning Show on the Pulse. She was a tradition. I trotted that thing out every year until they replaced it. Then they replaced it with another one. I'm like, oh, what happened to the file? It was gone. I lost the file, but it did make the transition. So I played it for about 10 years.
Should have saved that one.
I love that woman. I wish I remembered her name. She was great. I put my favorites in my stomach.
She's absolutely not wrong, though.
So let's see. Jim just posted trunk or treat events have reduced neighborhood traffic too.
We didn't have those back in the day.
Well, I think what they tried to do in our neighborhood, and they've been doing this for years and years in our town, is to prevent kids from running around downtown trying to trick or treat. Is now we have a Halloween parade with a costume contest, and it's run by the Lions Club. And then there's a gathering. It used to be at the fire department on Main Street or on 17 on Church. I forget what it's called. Anyway. It used to be at the fire department, but now the fire department's over on a new facility. So I don't know where the gathering is, but then they would hand out everybody got a little bag with treats in it, some candy in it. And then they handed out the awards for the costume contest. And then that was it. And then the individual neighborhoods, it was up to them to decide whether they were going to have trick or treating or not. And then of course it was a battle every year in our neighborhood. I've told that story here. With the flyers. Right. This is before the internet. Back before the internet, you had flyers, and you would put the flyers and trick or treating on Jefferson Village. Our neighborhood's called Jefferson Village.
Yeah,
and you put it in between. You didn't put it in the actual mailbox because it's a federal piece of property, but you put it beside it. And then there was one kid one year that was following and collecting all of our, as we were placing them, he was collecting them because he was the kid or a nephew or whatever of a woman across the street who just wanted to have trick-or-treating on a Saturday, which was convenient for her. And we're like, no, Halloween's on Halloween. Trick-or-treating's on Halloween.
Yeah,
So
I
on a
used to hate
Tuesday
that.
or
Yeah. Yeah, I used to hate that when communities would do that. Don't put it on such and such. Like, no, it's the day is the day.
The day is the day, right?
Like,
Are you
like
gonna
what
do
are we next going to do?
Yeah,
Move
right.
Christmas to when it's most convenient
For
for everyone? I
you.
mean, yeah, come on.
And
Okay?
then, so now we
Baby
have a
Jesus would not approve.
community Facebook group, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And it still comes up every year. And the greatest
No.
one was like,
No.
I'm out. If it's on a Saturday, we're not even going to be home.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
And then there's the famous one year. I may have told this story before too, but I'll tell it again.
Okay.
So, greatest wife ever. She was like, she had been working hard on Heritage Festival and so on. So when it came up to time for trick or treating, she's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Let's not worry about it. We won't turn our light on. You turn your porch light on if you're going to have trick or treaters.
True.
And I'm like, no, not at all. And so I get back from work and I run over to Safeway, and it was trick or treating starts at 6 and it's like 5:30. Right? And I'm in Safeway and I'm buying, and it's buy one get one. I'm buying all this.
Sure.
Well, guess what? By the way, they don't do that anymore. The candy's gone.
It's gone like a week
gone, and it's all Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Forget it.
My Halloween.
Yeah, forget it.
I bought all this candy and I drive back and I pull up in front of my house, and trick-or-treating has just started. So there's a woman who walks by, a mom and her little girl, probably 4 or 5 years old.
Right.
And I'm like, hi, trick or treat. And I open up some candy and I'm like, just getting back. And I gave him some candy, and the little girl whispers into the mother's ear. And she goes, oh, and she turns to me and she goes, she thinks your house is the scariest one on the block.
I used to get that a lot too.
I hadn't decorated.
Oh. Pardon?
That's how.
I beg your pardon?
Right. Overgrown bushes, disrepair here, and a shutter that might have been off its.
Oops.
I didn't have skeletons out. I didn't have nothing. Scariest one on the block.
Okay.
Thank you.
We intentionally tried.
Don't the greatest I've ever. I'm like,
right.
I'm going to Heckinger's the next day.
Yeah.
We gotta fix this.
Hey, we're running out of time, so we need to get to your.
Oh my God! Look at that. Okay, and I didn't even get to the other thing we wanted to get to.
Yeah,
all right,
we didn't.
We got to roll.
Go ahead.
All right, it's time to get the gray matter working. Fire off the synapses, engage the frontal lobe, form new neural networks, utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh says, it's time to
Think.
Dang, it's the dun 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 question of the day. We call it the QOD for short, and we're playing for pride, not prize. And here we go. Today's question of the day.
Yep.
Shrunken Head Bob from the movie Beetlejuice is the most searched costume on Google. Ray gun is number 2. Do you know this, John?
Oh, yeah.
What is Ray gun from?
Oh, I know this one. Yep.
Shrunken Head Bob from the movie Beetlejuice is the most searched costume on Google. Ray gun is number 2. What is Ray gun from? Ray gun, not Reagan. That's from The Exorcist. Ray gun.
Right.
What is Ray gun from?
Yes.
All right. Put your answers in the comment section. And good luck.
Pew, 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 pew.
By the way, I went over the Variety. It was the 100 scariest movies of all time. Horror movies.
Yeah.
And it's from Variety magazine. So it's from a critic.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised. I thought The Exorcist would be number 1. No. Exorcist number 2.
Number 2?
Number 1 was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I've never seen. I've never seen that movie. Also on the list, by the way, at number 4, which I was really surprised, was, and it
Mhm.
was because it changed the way people behaved because they were so scared of this particular thing in this movie, and that was they wouldn't even take baths or showers because Jaws was number 4.
Baths or showers?
Yeah, people wouldn't take baths or showers. That's the greatest wife ever. She wouldn't take a bath. She wouldn't take a shower.
Jaws? Like
She was so scared after seeing Jaws.
well, I still don't like getting in the ocean because of Jaws.
Right. Well, but again,
Literally, to this day.
that's how scary it was. Really, to this day, still.
To this day, yeah, I don't like going in the ocean.
I never saw Jaws. I
Really?
never saw it in the theater. I wasn't allowed.
I much
But
prefer swimming pools. I do not. I do try not to go in the ocean. I really don't. I don't like the mystery. You know when I go in the ocean? When you can see your feet.
okay. Well, then you can
Like
see
when the
the
water's
shark
clear.
clearly come up to your foot. And
You could, but at least you know.
at least you know
You have a
the
chance.
knowledge. You have the
You might
knowledge.
see it
Okay.
coming and know.
Right.
All right.
No. Okay. All right. So.
Get to our.
Oh yeah, we gotta get going. It's 11:58. All
Yes,
right, so
right.
here's the question one more time.
Yes.
Strong and Head Bob from the movie Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is the most searched costume on Google. Raygun is number 2. What is Raygun from?
And you made it too easy this time. Here we go.
Hey, really?
Ding.
Celeste, the Olympic breakdancer from Australia. G'day. There you go.
There you go. Yep.
There it is.
Zach.
Zach, yes, finally,
Susan.
Zach came through. Nice, bad breakdancer from the Olympics. All right, Susan, beautiful. That should be your costume.
You're going to be
Zach,
Raygun?
don't tempt me with a good time. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. It's just a tracksuit. It's a green tracksuit,
Green tracksuit.
and
with
I
a
can
hat.
dance pretty much as well as she can.
Yeah. Yeah. I think pretty much anybody.
There you go.
can.
But Celeste, there you go. You get pride, not prize. Let's see.
Yay.
Now,
Wait,
here's the
hold
thing
on.
with your
Yeah,
pride,
okay.
Celeste.
Yes.
Your pride is the flavor of your favorite candy, and also you get to keep it for what, 3 weeks
Wow.
until
It's
November,
extended pride.
until John's back in November
Wow.
as we celebrate his
An honor.
birthday, and we are thankful, and we move into what Jordan, daughter of the elder, calls harvest.
The harvest.
We've moved out of Halloween and into harvest.
Into harvest.
So November 1st on All Saints Day, you start harvest.
Huh.
That's where you take your jack-o'-lantern and you just turn it around. So you have just a regular old pumpkin on your. I did that
until it
Did that
rots
last
away.
year. Yeah, exactly. Because then,
Right.
then the face is like. All right. Okay. Are we done? We're almost done. We're done. All right, listen.
We are done.
John,
Yes,
listen,
Ron.
buddy. Safe
Hi.
travels. I'll talk to you, I'm sure, before you leave, but I'm sure
Yeah,
everybody
or we may.
here is
I have
wishing
international
John.
data, I think.
Yes,
or I
everybody's
need to
wishing
check
John a
that
happy.
board.
Yeah, post some pictures on the
I need
Facebook
to-
page. What you're doing. Let us live vicariously through you.
I will do that.
I want you
will
need to
post
go
some stuff.
Facebook Live, John. Go Facebook Live as they're drawing their first pint of Guinness at an Irish pub, and get a half and half.
Okay.
Get a half and half. You won't have to explain it there.
Well,
They know exactly what you mean when you say half
well,
and half.
right. I'm gonna have to. So in each town, we have reserved a day. That's what I meant to say.
For drinking.
For tourism type stuff, because it'd be stupid to go
Right.
to the other side of the world and not do some tourism
Drinking.
stuff. So
Right, exactly.
so right.
I'm with you.
What you said. And yeah, so it's travel day, shoot day, tourism day, travel day, shoot day.
All right.
tourism
So
day,
here's
travel.
the two things I require from you, John.
Yeah.
I want Facebook Live when you're getting a half and half, and they're drawing a pint for you
All
at an
right.
Irish pub. I need that.
Very
And
good.
second of all, I want you to get some street. Do not go to a restaurant.
Somewhat.
I want you to get some street fish and chips in the newspaper. Fish and chips, completely healthy.
Okay. No, I like fish and chips. So
I'm
I'm up for that.
All right. Excellent. That'll
A
be
harp
great.
and a fish and chips. Come on.
No, not a harp, a half and half.
No, that's separate.
Oh, that's different. Okay, so you're gonna
My
have
pairings are my pairings, Ron. Do not mess with my pairings.
All right, John. Okay, got it. Easy.
Actually, I'd like a golden instead.
Is there any Irish blood in your side of the?
I
what is
don't
that?
know. Maybe.
No.
Who knows? I'm a
Italian
mutt.
though. Your mom's Italian
I'm a
and your
mutt.
dad's
Yeah, but it's not pure.
Polish.
There's
Yeah.
there's some other stuff in there. So
Oh yeah, I'm a mutt. I'm a super mutt. I love that.
anyway. All
I
right.
love that about it. I can pick anything. All right, we got to go. Break.
Break.
Wrap it up. All right, listen, John, travel safely, post all the things. Thank you again so much for listening and watching, and we really appreciate that. Mash that subscribe button, hit the like button, whatever it is. Share with your friends, let them know we're here. Especially if you know somebody used to listen on the on Sirius XM to the show. This is basically the same show, just no music. And a lot of yak.
Yakety yak.
So thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate that. I'll be popping up on Facebook Live, and posting and all of those things.
It's true.
In a little bit. So listen, take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. John, Globetrotter Yaglinski, Ron, staying put. Ross, love you, mean it. Bicycle.